please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hi there, good afternoon. This is Your Stocks. I'm Mangla Malu. With me is Nigel D'Souza. Nigel, good afternoon. Looks good for the markets right now. We're still holding up the 10,880 mark for the Nifty. Initially, there was a scare. We did touch the flat line for a bit on the Nifty, but now we have recovered some of those gains. The mid-cap index, while it is off the high point of the day, closer was the lower end of this trading session. Just keep an eye on individual stocks which are buzzing around. Our ticker team has been alerting us. Muthoot Capital up 16%. I saw PC Jeweler move higher as well. The likes of Quality after consistent low circuits, that one's moved higher as well. And a lot of these stocks are buzzing. The biggest mover there is Britannia. We'll talk about it, but the sense one gets is that base is protected, 10,800. That put continues to add shares in open interest, and today there's close to around 10.5 lakh shares added in open interest on the 10,800 put. So the bulls are betting on that mark to hold on.
Absolutely, Manglam. The last few minutes, some of these stocks have just taken off. The likes of PC Jewelers, as you said, it's up nearly around 7-8% odd. You have something like a Kaveri Seeds as well. Just take a look at the intraday chart over there. That stock has moved to the high point of the day. So a lot of stocks moving around. The Nifty for the time being is climbing slowly towards the 10,900 mark. Let's see whether or not we can make it in the next half hour or maybe in the next 90 minutes before we are done with today's trading session. First up, running you through all the top stories. It's another day of gains on Dalal Street. The Sensex and the Nifty, they trade in the green, led by Infosys, TCS, and various private banking stocks. Esnadain of ICICI Prudential bets big on the pharma stocks. He sees a 20 to 30-year mega trend in healthcare and diagnostics.
So let's take it from there. Pharmaceutical stocks, they continue to be the flavor of the season. Dr. Reddy's and Cipla gain over 3% apiece. Sun Pharma gains an additional boost after the US drug regulator, the US FDA, that is, gives an all clear for the company's Halol plant.
And you can't keep the tech stocks out of it. TCS is among the top gainers on the Nifty on news that the tech major will mull a buyback on June 15th. Tech Mahindra as well is in focus after the management tells CNBC TV18 that the restructuring drag on their telecom portfolio is behind them.
Page Industries, that one hits a life high after the company extend its licensing agreement with Jockey till 2040. They expect steady growth to continue across all segments. Reiterates the 20% revenue growth for the next 20 years guidance. That's an exclusive.
And we are holding in the green, but the Asian markets, they closed lower. Investors, they shifted the focus from the recently concluded US-North Korea summit to the Federal Reserve's June meeting. That outcome is scheduled later today. A 25 basis point rate hike is on the cards.
All right, so let's get talking about individual stocks. Then we briefly alluded to Britannia. Nigel, tomorrow is 25 days of Infosys listing. I was just going through the numbers. Infosys has returned wealth at 36% CAGR for the last 25 years. But Britannia, the stock is at a life high. Yet another record high. I've lost count of the number of record high that stocks hit in this year. And today crossed that 6,000 mark as far as the company is concerned. Market cap of 73,000 crores. Way back before the 19th century, the company opened its operations in Calcutta in 1892 with a capital of just 295 rupees. Absolutely. So we're talking about wealth compounding for 126 years. The company has compounded wealth at 18.5%. How's that for outperformance? 126 years, you compound wealth for 18.5%. Currently, not too cheap at 47 times 2-year forward earnings. But then again, if a company can generate that sort of wealth over 126 years,
that's our market. Mangalam, you talk about Page Industries that's trading at premium valuations. You talk about Britannia that's trading at premium valuations. But Quality, they're definitely finding favor, and that's what we've seen in the last few days as well. So the Innova is selling, so that's why, in fact, that's looking quite good. Page Industries has moved higher. And as Manglam said, Britannia is moving higher, so always you'll be tracking BBTC. So you pull up the intraday chart over there, you did see some mild kind of an up move over there. It normally is more or less a trading move. Let's pull up Bombay Burma. They hold 50% stake in Britannia. So that's precisely what's happened. You saw a bit of a trading move. Remember, you'll have to give a discount to the holding that they have, the 50% discount out. So that explains why BBTC as well did move higher as Britannia did take off. More of a trading move. Holding company discount will have to be applied. So first up, let's run you through, in fact, get our guest in, and then we'll pull in the queries. Sandeep Wagle joins us, and we have Shaina Mukaddam as well, who's with us in the studio today. Hi, Shaina. Hi, Sandeep. Thanks so much for joining in today. First caller's already with us. Let's get straight to Mr. Raman, who calls us from New Delhi. He has investments, in Quality. Good afternoon, sir. How can we help you?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir. How can we help you? What's your query?
Actually, I am a new investor and I have a 500 share Quality. So my question is, I can add more or what? I don't know. I buy this 90 rupees.
Okay. And you're sitting on a big loss as of now.
Yeah, big loss. So my question is, why he cheating with shareholders? I request to everyone, take action like this company, please. Kindly do needful.
Yeah, we have been trying to get the management to clarify what exactly is going on. They keep saying that there are accidents that take place. At 120 there was an accident, at 80 there was an accident. Now it's below 30 rupees as well. Yeah, Mangalam?
Absolutely. We kept asking the management what is the problem. They've announced a buyback as well. We did post tough questions to them. They continue to say that there is no problem with the company. But if the share price is the indicator of the problems with the company, well, it has fallen from what, 140, 150 rupees. Yeah. You yourself, Mr. Rahman, have bought it at 88 rupees and now it's currently trading at 28 rupees. So, well, commiserations on your investment bet, sir. But we will try and help you out of this. China, what would you recommend to a person who's lost a fair amount of money on a stock like this?
I would keep a near-term stop loss of about 27 rupees. Okay. I think that is some support which, if it's broken, can again take it further down. The negatives over here, of course, as you know, the profits have been like the massive cut. It's about 1.5 crore of profit last quarter compared to, I think around 50 crores. And the problem is with the balance sheet also, which the debt is very huge compared to the net worth. Yes. So debt of I think over 2,000 crores and odds. And plus, on top of all this, you have had management concerns in terms of who's selling the stock and who's holding the stock and stuff like that. So I would, still hold it because it's a strong brand and they do have business prospects, but do keep a stop loss.
Okay, all right. In fact, that point we put forward to the management as well. Why are you going to do a buyback, etc.? If you have cash, you rather bring down the debt in your books. That should be the point that you're looking at. But anyway, thanks so much, Aina, for answering that query. Mangalam, let's go to the next.
Let's go to the next one. We have Miss Malini T writing to us from Bengaluru, holds 75 shares of ICICI Bank at 253 rupees for the last 4 years. The stock price is pretty much where it is been over the last 4 years, despite all the volatility that there was. A long-term investor wants to know whether to hold or sell. Well, Sandeep, ICICI Bank just about 40 rupees higher than what she bought about 4 years ago. For the long term, do you think it's a right price and a right move to go ahead and hold the stock for the longer term?
Afternoon, Mangalam. I think at this level she should hold on with a stop loss of 250. I still feel there is an upside. The bottom has been made, and though ICICI has been in the bank has been in the news for wrong reasons, maybe that's why we are seeing this sideways move. I would talk of, given a 12 to 15 month period, I would still talk of a 375-400 target. So in that sense, hold with a stop loss of 250.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for that, Sandeep. By the way, just keep an eye out on the mid-cap index. So we're celebrating that the Nifty is moving towards 10,900 odd, but the mid-cap index has come off the high point of the day. So that should come up for you on the screen. Yes, let's pull up the advanced decline ratio as well. Let's see whether those lines are getting closer, because now you have nearly around 900 stocks that are declining as well. So keep an eye out on that front. A couple of stocks that I want to pull up. ICICI Prudential, that's struggling, sitting with a cut-off around 2.5%. But there are a couple of other stocks as well. Cholamandalam, let's pull up the intraday chart over there. The stock was trading with a gain of more than 1%. Now it's seeing some selling pressure. So just keep focus on that front as well. Though the headline index is moving higher, mid-caps are looking a little bit nervous.
A couple of the financials as well, Nigel. As we speak, L&T Finance Holdings, that one's moved to the low point of the day. We keep talking about the oil and gas index, MRPL. That one too has moved to the low point of the day. And we have Torrent Pharma. That one too has seen a bit of a slip from the top despite an otherwise buoyant pharma index. So keep an eye out on these stocks. With that, I think we'll take a short break. Yep, we'll take a short break. Come back, we focus on some more stocks and queries when we return.
Well, keep an eye out on a couple of these stocks. Though the Nifty is moving higher, that's because a couple of these heavyweight stocks are moving higher. But otherwise, Adani Ports is seeing some selling pressure. Just take a look at that. It's moved to the low point of the day. You have Bajaj Finance as well. That's seeing some kind of nervousness. And also HPCL. That as well is moving lower. Well, I was looking at a couple of stocks, Mangalam, from the same sector. The likes of Vedanta as well as a Hindalco. I remember Vedanta going all the way to 300, 320 rupees odd. Hindalco is at around that 250 odd range. Both of them did see a bit of a correction. If you can pull both those two stocks up, you'll see that now, in fact, it's just as a numbers game. Hindalco's price is higher than that of Vedanta.
Right.
You pull up SBI and ICICI Bank as well. I remember ICICI Bank was trading at more than 300. SBI was at around, that 250 rupee mark odd. So now you'll see that ICICI Bank and SBI, both of them at exactly the same level, more or less at the same level at around the 290 rupees mark odd. But let's get to our next query.
Absolutely, we'll do that. Mr. BB Raju writes to us from Odisha, holds 1,000 shares of Rain Industries, well, at 165 rupees for the last 3 months. Medium-term investor wants to know whether to hold or sell. Well, making a fair amount of money, but a huge drawdown as well. Remember that stock being closer to that 400 mark, and now it's come down to the level that it's trading at right now, close to around that 230. Been a big mover over the last 1 year, but what is the story? Well, Shahina, Rain Industries, what's your view?
Well, I would give it a hold. There are issues, that have come up. I think they have been put on the watch list. So to that extent, there has been a negative, I would say news surrounding this. Also, in terms of profitability, there is really nothing much to talk about. So to that extent, but we are positive on the overall cement sector. So on the sector, top down, I'm positive. So I would continue holding a Rain. I would keep a stop loss of close to 210. But I see if the cement sector and their realizations improve and they are able to sort out these issues, they can see a good upside from here.
Okay, all right.
I would say news surrounding this. Also, in terms of profitability, there is really nothing much to talk about. So to that extent, but we are positive on the overall cement sector. So on the sector, top down, I'm positive. So I would continue holding a Rain. I would keep a stop loss of close to 210. But I see if the cement sector and their realizations improve and they are able to sort out these issues, they can see a good upside from here.
Okay, all right. So maybe an upside from here is what you can look forward to. But we have our next caller who's already with us. I think Mr. Singh calls us from New Delhi. He has investments in Jamna Auto. Hi, Mr. Singh.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Mr. Singh. You're making some money on Jamna Auto, I believe.
Yeah, right. Actually, I'm holding 1,200 shares of Jamna Auto at the approx price of 80. So I can hold it for the long term. What is the future for this company?
You just bought it recently, is it? I mean, around 6-8 months ago?
Yeah, right.
Okay, all right. No, I just wanted to confirm that you didn't buy it post the corporate action. Otherwise, you'd be sitting on way more money. But nonetheless, you're making 18,000 rupees. That's not a small amount. Sandeep, coming across to you, what's your view on Jamna Auto? Still holding at around the 92 rupee odd. We saw it even go to above 100, but it's corrected from there. Looks good for more?
Absolutely, Nigel. I think it will go to somewhere around 120 or so over the next 1 year or so, since he has a long-term view. I would very clearly recommend a hold with a stop loss of 80, which is also his cost, so he doesn't lose out.
All right. Thanks a lot for that. In fact, Nigel, you covered this in Mania, Midcap Mania?
Yeah, I covered it in Midcap Mania. Actually, the theme at that point of time was that they have a big presence. They have nearly around 70% of the market in terms of suspension for commercial vehicles. So, the effective price would be much lower. The stock has doubled from there. The CV cycle did well, and that was the thesis. And, they have ROC of more than 33%. They're looking at new products of more than 33%. So that cycle has played out well, and I understand that they are operating at full capacities. That's why their Q4 numbers as well look quite good. We're still hoping the management will join us and in fact give us more clarity.
All right. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Jamna Auto has moved fair bit, in fact 76% in the last 12 months. So we have Ms. Vijay Fernandez writing to us from Mumbai, holds 2,000 shares of Petronet LNG at 215 rupees for the last 1 week. Short-term investor wants to know whether to hold or sell. Well, making 10,000 bucks in the last 1 week. Sandeep, short-term investor, do you think take the 10,000 rupees off and go away, or maybe extend the holding period a little bit?
Well, part profit booking can be a good strategy, but I still feel there is some more upside. I would talk of a target of 240, 245. Now, since it is a short term, I'm presuming it is a 1 month to 3 months or so. And a safe stop loss can be around 210.
All right, safe stop loss around that 210, 1 to 3 month target of 245. You're still making 10,000 rupees. Part profit booking is what Sandeep recommends. In the meanwhile, just keep an eye out on a couple of stocks. We have JSW Steel that has moved to the high point of the day. SAIL is also seeing some bit of traction. And we have Tata Motors DVR. That one should come up for you. Tata Motors as a stock had been underperforming all through from the start of this year. Saw some support at around that 250, 260 levels. Is seeing some up move. And Tata Motors DVR2 has moved about 1.5%. Most of the gains coming by in the last 5 odd minutes. With that, we'll slip into a short break, come back, focus on some more stocks and queries. Welcome to Your Stocks. Nifty closing in on that 10,900 mark, also closing in on that bat raising moment of 50 runs. So we will keep an eye out on that. And who's taking that single for 50 runs? It is Reliance. That one should come up for you. The big boy is at the high point of the day, adding on to the gains. In fact, over the last few days, it has been batting for the bulls and batting well. Reliance Industries at the high point of the day. Nigel, one stock from the mid-cap space that comes onto my radar. You know, all through the day, we've been talking about Page Industries, Page Industries, Page Industries, but you can't just be wearing their products, right? You have to wear some clothes which are branded on top of that as well. And Arvind, that one is saying, well, count me in as well, because it's not only underwear, it's outside of that as well.
Mangalam, you're getting way too naughty. You're talking about raising your bat, first of all. Then you're talking about, you know, you can't just wear Page, but... no, I mean, you get they go for it.
No, nothing else.
Keep an eye out on these stocks. Mangalam short pointers, they're moving to the high point of the day. And he's making a valid point there. You can't just wear Page and go out. You'll have to cover it as well. So, but on that note, let's go to our next query. We have Sagarika, who writes to us from Kolkata. She wants to invest around $1 lakh in Colgate for the long term. Wants to know whether or not it's the right time to enter the market. Well, Colgate, Sandeep, coming across to you. On the charts, how's Colgate looking? 1,240 rupees is what the price is at now. It's been a outperformer. Your take on the charts?
Well, you can get some kind of a correction, but I think this is a stock to be buying and holding for the long term. I can't say whether you should wait for too much of a correction. Probably 1,200 to 1,150 would be the level I would recommend a buy. Stop loss of below 1,100, and my target over the next 12 to 15 months will be around 1,400 to 1,430.
All right, 1,400 to 1,430. That's as far as the charts on Colgate is concerned. The big thing that I'll be watching out for, Nigel, you know, the stock, I mean, is the fact that they've been losing market share for the last 18 quarters. So next quarter, what happens? Do they go ahead and gain market share? Because competition is rife from Dabur as well as Hindustan Unilever. Patanjali competition still abating a little bit, but they have increased their distribution in the naturals product to the national markets. So let's watch out for that. I believe with a smile on Colgate, we will take your leave. Thanks a lot, Sandeep and Shaina, for joining us and giving us, giving our viewers all your expertise on their queries. With that, we've run out of time on Your Stocks, but you remember, log into CNBC TV18.com, mail us your queries. We will address them with our experts. Stay tuned. Closing bell comes up next.